Good morning, Miss.
Hi, Miss.
Hi, Miss.
Morning.
Hi.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Hi,
Hi, Miss.
Hi.
Hi, Miss.
Hello, dear. Hi. Okay, that's great. It seems that all the classes here today.
Miss, remember when you told us to write some information about insects? I wrote some information about insects.
How is this? So, Marsha,
Yeah.
great job. You'll get bonus points for this.
Thank you.
Yalla, I'll wait 2 more minutes for others to join us. How did you find the lesson? Did you all watch the science video?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we
Yes.
talking about?
Yes, I
in
watched
the
it.
new lesson? Great, this is Samia. Okay, what are we talking about in the new lesson?
Insects. Reproduction.
We're talking about insects reproduction. Excellent.
Hi, Miss.
Hi. So since we're talking about insect reproduction in the new lesson, I want you to give me examples of insects. Insects like what? Which animals are we talking about today?
Like ants, bees, butterflies.
Ants,
Ladybug.
bees,
Miss Bees,
butterflies,
butterflies,
ladybugs,
cockroach,
Grasshoppers. And
beetles,
Dragonfly.
cockroaches, dragonflies,
beetles,
beetles,
The stick insect.
yes, the sticky
earwing.
insects,
and
praying mantises,
grasshoppers, parliamentarians.
mosquitoes,
Cricket. A bee.
Grasshoppers.
crickets, grasshoppers, etc. Okay? Almost all insects share the same way of reproduction. Okay? What does reproduction start with? What does it start with? First of all, you need to indicate the type of reproduction in insects. How do most insects reproduce?
laying eggs.
Oviparous.
Yes, they are oviparous. Insects are oviparous animals.
Sexually?
And they reproduce sexually. I was looking for this word. Thank you. They reproduce sexually. Sexually means that we need both partners, the female and the male. Okay? I will put the female this side and the male this side. What do females reproduce? What do females produce? Which kind of cells? What do female make? Yes, it was Samia's voice. Yes, Samia.
Ovum cell.
They make ovum. They make ovum. What's an ovum? What's an ovum? If I ask you to define the ovum, what is it?
The female sex part.
It's the egg. It's the female
It's a female reproduction cell.
It's the female sex cell or the female reproductive cell. What about the male? What do males make?
Miss, it's the sperm sex cell.
They make the sperm cell, which is the male sex cell or the male reproductive cell. So, now insects have these two kinds of cells. The ovum and the sperm. What is the next step? What happens next? What happens next?
Zygote.
Ovum and
It combines together.
they combine together. Excellent.
They combine together and make a zygote.
They combine together. Yes. What
They make a union.
yes. The union of these two kinds of cell happens. What do we call this process? This step. Give me the name of this step.
Fertilization.
What is it? What do we call the union of the ovum?
Fertilization.
Fertilization. Excellent. Now, in insects body, are you sending me anything in the chat? Okay, what about others? Can you hear me clearly? Is the voice clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Reproduction of insects starts with fertilization. Tell me, where does fertilization in insects happen? Is it outside of the female body or
The female's body.
it's inside the
In
female
the female's
body?
body.
Inside.
It's inside. So the ovum of the females get fertilized inside the female's body. Then what is the second step? What does the female do?
Miss, can I say it?
Yes, you can.
Lay the egg.
The female.
Miss, the female lays eggs
Excellent. The
under the
female.
leaves.
Great. The female lays eggs. Most insects lay their eggs on the plant's leaves. So insects, after fertilization, lay their eggs on the plant's leaves. So now we have the eggs. Now we have the eggs. Tell me, what are the 4 stages? The 4 stages, okay, I think there is nothing on this slide. So here the adult female, the adult bed bug laying the eggs. Also, the adult ladybug lays its eggs after fertilization. And the third one, here is the butterfly, the adult female butterfly laying the eggs. Okay, so egg is the first stage of life of an insect. So after fertilization, the female lays the eggs. What are the 4 stages of life of an insect? Egg, then what are the 4 stages? Egg,
Miss,
Larva.
egg, then
larva,
Larva.
Larva, pupa, and
pupa,
and then a ladybug.
It's a
Pupa.
pupa.
And
The ladybug.
do all insects become ladybugs?
No.
It's the
After
actual
pupal
insect.
stage.
Or a butterfly.
Okay, what do we say after the pupal stage? They turn into
Insect.
insects,
And then
adult insects, adult, big insects. So the 4 stages of life of an insect are 4. Egg, larva, pupa, adult. Egg, larva, pupa, adult. Yalla ya. Mariam, are you listening to me? Mariam, what are
Yes.
the 4 stages of life of an insect?
Egg, larva, pupa, adult.
Excellent, ya Mariam. Yalla ya Fuani. Fuani, good morning. What are the 4 stages of life of an insect?
egg.
Yes.
What is that? What the heck is that? And
Yes. Egg. And after the egg stage, who can help Fuani with this? Fuani, are you still talking? Zainuddin, can you help us with this? What are the 4 stages of life of an insect?
Yes, I can.
adult.
Do we start with an adult?
An adult.
Yes.
Egg.
Adult egg.
Adult egg. Larva. Pupa.
Excellent. Good job. Then adult again. Yalla ya Leia. Hi Hadi. Yalla ya Leia. Quickly.
Egg, larva, pupa, adult.
Perfect. Tala. What are the 4 stages of life of an insect?
Egg, larva, pupa,
Thank you so much. Muhammad Jawad. What are the 4 stages of life of an insect? Is Muhammad Jawad still asleep?
Miss,
Yes, Rama.
can I please?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Egg, larva, pupa, adult.
Thank you so much. So before we start
Miss-
talking about each
Miss,
of
can
the
I please?
stages, yes, Shoghi, you can.
Egg. Larva. Pupa. Adult.
Thank you. Hassan Bawab. Hasuna, good morning. What are the 4 stages of life of an insect?
Egg. Pupa. Adult.
You missed a stage. Egg, then larva, then pupa, then adult. Thank you, ya Hassan. Before we start talking about each of the stages, let's listen to what Lamar wrote about insects. Lamar, we're listening. What did you write about reproduction of insects?
Okay, miss. The first fact about insect is a ladybird might eat more than 5,000 insects in its lifetime.
Okay. So
The second one is
okay.
fruit flies were the first living creatures to be sent into space.
Great information.
Dragonflies have been on Earth for 300 million years.
Wow.
A bee's wings beat 190 times a second. That means 11,400 times a minute.
This is interesting. So if you're listening, Lamar is telling us information about...
Miss, can I also tell you a fact that I knew about grasshoppers?
Yes, Kareem.
Grasshoppers, when they mate, after the female has the sperm cell, the female eats the father, eats the male.
Really? The female
Yes.
is crazy, and she eats
So that's
the dad of its kids.
Yeah, it eats him. Yeah, after mating, before it having a baby, before it has a baby, she eats
I
him.
think she,
So Karim, thanks God you're
she
not
does
a
it to protect
grasshopper,
the.
right? Lamar, do you still have anything? Did you
Right.
write anything else?
I have
No,
one.
miss, that's it.
Okay, thank you
Miss,
so much,
I
Lamar.
have-
You will get
Miss,
bonus points for this.
I have
Yes,
information.
Sasha, I'm listening.
There are more there are more types of beetles in the world than there are plants, like all kinds of than all plants.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, thank you
Miss,
so much.
can
Thank
I
you, Karim,
say one
Lamar, and Samia. Yes, Shugri.
information?
Yes, say it. I'm
Miss,
listening.
nearly all insects hatch from eggs. Adult insects typically move about walking, flying, or sometimes swimming. And humans regard certain insects as pets. Yeah, that's all.
Really? Insects as pets?
Yeah. As pests, not pets.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Yashogani. Thank you all for your information. Let's start talking about each of the 4 stages. Okay, so as we said, the adult lays the eggs on plant leaves. Then we have one larva that hatches from one egg. So each egg contains one larva. Okay, the larva is the active, the larva is the active stage. During the larval stage, this animal eats a lot, grows fast, it sheds, it loses its skin 4 times before it becomes a caterpillar. So the larva hatches out of the egg, eats a lot, it eats leaves, it loses its skin many times, almost 4 times, and when it's fully grown, when it's big enough, this larva is called a caterpillar. We say that the larval stage is the active stage since all growth, all development happens in this stage. What about the pupa? The caterpillar.
Miss Fatima,
Yes, dear.
the pupa is the scareless.
Yes, that's right. The pupa is when the animal rests. It takes a break. It like sleeps. But before it does this, the caterpillar makes a cocoon around its body and sticks to
Miss, and
plant,
before it does it changes into a butterfly.
and it loses its skin and changes into a butterfly. So it sheds for the 5th time and for the last time and changes into a young butterfly, a small butterfly. Then after a few days, this young butterfly, this small butterfly, breaks the cocoon and a beautiful butterfly goes out of the cocoon. Then this adult butterfly, after mating, will lay eggs on leaves of the plant, and the life cycle of the butterfly starts all over again. Egg, larva, pupa, adult. During the larval stage, the animal grows and loses its skin. During the pupa stage, it changes into the adult insect and it sheds for the last time. Is it hard? Do you still have any questions about the insect life cycle? I took the butterfly as an example since
No.
one of the easiest one. Wait. Egg, larva, pupa, adult. During the larval stage, as I said, the insect loses its skin almost 4 times. For this reason, we say the insect molts, molting. This is molting. The insects molt. What do we mean by molting? Who can explain this to me? What's molting?
Miss, when it changes from a larva into a butterfly.
Miss Butterfly changing from their development from egg to an adult.
This is not right. This is not right.
No. When
What's
it
molting?
loses
Molting, Miss, molting is when the larva turns into a butterfly. This is like a part of time where it molts.
No, this
Miss,
is not
when it
right.
changes its skin for 4 times.
When it loses its skin. Molting means that the insect loses its skin and sheds. So look, each insect has an outer skin. The skin from the outside is a little bit strong, okay? And it doesn't let the insect to grow too much since the larva is growing fast. So it needs bigger clothes, right? Are you still using the same clothes since your babies? Are you still wearing the same clothes, guys? No. Each time you grow more, you need new clothes. Each time you grow, you need new clothes since the older ones are small and they don't fit you anymore. This is what happens with insects. Each time they grow, they need a new exoskeleton. So the outer skin, I will use the whiteboard to write this. The outer skin of an insect is called an exoskeleton. The outer skin that protects the insect, what do we call it? An exoskeleton.
Skeleton.
My babies are asleep. The outer skin that protects each insect is called an exoskeleton. When the larva is growing.
Hello, Miss, can you hear me?
Yes,
Miss, can you hear me?
Yes, Kareem. When the insect grows.
Okay, just was making.
When the insect grows, it needs a new exoskeleton and at each stage, since the old one is small on her, and the exoskeleton doesn't allow much growth for the insect. Are you getting this? For this reason, the insect needs to change its exoskeleton with a bigger one, with a new one. This is what we call molting. Molting is when the insect sheds its skin or its exoskeleton. The older exoskeleton is small, the insect takes it off and grows a new one, a bigger one. This is molting. Let's continue. Egg, larva, pupa, adult. Molting is shedding, losing the exoskeleton and growing a new one. Take a look on the 4 stages of the insects. Does an insect change during its life cycle? Yes, Shogri.
Miss Fatim?
Yes. Yes.
Miss, I have a question.
I'm listening.
Miss, when the Miss, when the egg does not have to grow in a butterfly.
When the what? When the what?
Miss, when the egg has no, Miss, when an insect has no skin, how much time does it take for it to turn into, to make another skin?
Okay, look. The insect grows a new one under the old one. It grows a new one under the old one, then it loses the old one. It's like taking off your clothes, but you're still wearing something under it. You're wearing the perfect one under it.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So there is
Oh,
no
okay.
time
Thanks,
and it
Miss.
doesn't wait. The insect doesn't lose its skin. It needs it to be protected. The exoskeleton protects the insect. Since, as you know, insects do not have bones to protect them. Insects grow new exoskeleton under the old one, then they take off the old one. This is molting. Any questions about this? Any questions
Oh, okay,
about molting?
thanks.
No.
No, Miss, it's so
No.
easy.
Great. Do you
See?
think that insects change during their life cycle?
Yes,
Do they change a bit or a lot?
a lot.
They change a lot. What do we call the change that insects go through during their life cycles? What is it called? Butterfly, all insects change in form in their growth. This is what we call metamorphosis. What do we call it?
Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is the change that insects go through during their life cycle. So to turn from a larva into an adult insect,
Miss, it's the set of the transformations
it's excellent, excellent, bravo. It's the set.
which the larva goes through to become an adult.
Perfect. I will write this for you. The set of transformations. The insect transforms.
Which the larva
a
goes
lot.
through to become an adult.
Insect changes a lot during their growth. All of the transformations, all of the changes are called metamorphosis. So two very important words: molting, metamorphosis. Molting
Metamorphosis.
and metamorphosis. Let me ask you some questions just to check that you are all following with me. How do I close this? Yalla ya Adam. Adam, what do we call the changes that insects go through during their life?
Molting, metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis. Perfect. Hadi, what do we call the process of losing, the process when the insect loses its skin many times? Is it metamorphosis or molting?
Molting.
Thank you so much. Lamar Sharafuddin. What do we call the process of shedding the exoskeleton many times? Is it
Molting.
molting? Thank you so much. Abdullah. What do we call the process of transforming and changing of insects during their life cycle? Is it metamorphosis or molting?
Molting.
Listen to me. When the insect changes a lot during their life cycle, during their lives, is it metamorphosis or molting? Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Asil. When the insect
Yes.
sheds and changes its exoskeleton, do we say that the insect is going through metamorphosis or molts?
It molts.
It molts. Thank you. Thank you. Lana, what do we call the changes that insects go through during their lives? The changes that insects go through, ya Lana. Molting or metamorphosis? Molting or metamorphosis? The changes that insects go through. Alice Keiki. The changes insects go through when the insect changes a lot during its life. Is it molting or metamorphosis?
Molting.
The changes in the life of an insect.
Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis. Thank you so much.
Miss,
Yes. Yes, Sam.
my mom just caught the butterfly.
Really? Great. Is it an
Yes.
adult butterfly? Adult butterfly?
I don't know.
A big
I don't
one.
know.
Okay, great. You said that reproduction in insects is sexually. Insects reproduce in a sexual way. Who can define sexual reproduction for me? What's sexual reproduction? Tala, when do we say that an animal reproduces sexually?
When the mom and dad combined.
Excellent. When we need two partners, a mom and a dad, and the sex cells of the mom and the dad combine. Do you think that this is sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction?
Asexual.
Asexual reproduction. I don't know who said the answer, but why is this an asexual reproduction?
Because
It's because it needs
one.
because there's a binary fission.
This is binary fission. So we have one parent, we have one organism.
Can I answer?
Yes, you can. I'm listening to all of you now.
It's one organism. It's one organism reproducing on its own. That's what
Perfect. It's one organism reproducing on its own. This is reproduction because we had one organism and at the end we have two. These are the two daughter cells and this organism reproduced by its own without the need or the participation of a partner. So this is an asexual reproduction. During asexual reproduction, it's one organism that reproduces by its own. Which type of asexual reproduction is this? Which type of asexual reproduction is this?
Is it binary fission?
Thank you.
Binary fission.
Binary fission.
No.
Thank you. Binary fission. When one organism is split into two, we say it's binary fission. What is a second? Mute. What is a second type of asexual reproduction that you
I
know?
lost my internet.
A second type of asexual reproduction that you know?
Budding.
Yes,
Budding. Budding. Perfect. Name two different organisms that reproduce asexually by binary fission.
Paramecium.
Paramecium, bravo ya Adam.
Paramecium.
Vacuum.
and paramecium and
Bacteria.
bravo.
Bacteria.
Paramecium and bacteria reproduce asexually by binary fission. Budding. Name one animal that reproduces by budding. An animal that reproduces by budding.
Hydra.
The hydra. Thank you so much.
Hydra.
Excellent job, ya Adam.
Starfish.
Hydra.
And thank you, ya Ghadi. Now, is this sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction? Sexual or asexual in this case?
Sexual.
Why?
Sexual.
Why?
Be-
Because
because
it's
the female and the male.
Miss, because there's an ovum and the sperm.
Perfect. Because we have the two types of sex cells, the male and the female. Give me the name of cells A. Cells A. What are they?
Sperm.
These are the sperm.
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 Are they are the male sex cells. What about B?
Ovum.
Their
Ovum.
ovum, which
The
is
female
female
sex
sex
cell.
cell.
Okay, what do we call this step? This step. The process.
Fertilization.
Fertilization.
This is fertilization.
Fertilization.
When one sperm fertilizes an ovum, we say that this is fertilization. And let me remind you that only one sperm can fertilize the ovum, and it's actually this one. It's this one. Then when this fertilizes the ovum, these two cannot fertilize it anymore. They will die. Okay? It's only one sperm that can fertilize the ovum.
The fastest.
The fastest one. Perfect. Perfect. Mammals, birds, and insects reproduce sexually. Mammals, birds, and insects reproduce sexually. Where does fertilization happen in mammals? Let's take an example, the humans. Where does fertilization happen? Inside or outside the female?
This is the
In the
ovule.
mother's body.
Inside.
This in
Inside
the
female
ovule.
body. Excellent. The sperm fertilizes the ovum to
And the female.
the egg cell is now a zygote. The zygote starts dividing and growing inside the female's body. What does the zygote turn into? What do we call the baby inside the female's body?
Miss, into an embryo.
It's an embryo. And who provides the embryo with its needs?
The female.
It's the female, thank you. Then at the end of gestation, which is the period of development of the embryo inside the female body, the female will give birth to a baby. Since mammals are viviparous and not oviparous, birds, I will say this quickly, birds, fertilization in birds happens inside the female's body also. Then the female bird lays its egg, the embryo grows inside an egg. The egg has a yolk, albumin, shell membranes, and membrane to provide the embryo with all of its needs. We still have يمكن 20 seconds. Do you still have anything to tell me?
We still have less than 1
about?
minute, so it might cut off now.
Okay, please do the worksheet. I love all of you and thank you for joining me.
Teacher,
I
I
love
do
having
the
you off
worksheet.
my class.
Welcome, Miss.
Bye, Miss. Thank you.
Bye.
Miss?
Thank
Bye,
you.
Yes,
Bye.
bye.
Miss?
Yes, miss. Yes,
Bye.
ma'am.